twin. Thanks for joining me in this reading. So last night, after I recorded the video previous to this, I was gonna do the reading and I just found myself extremely tired and drained. Usually at night I'm very energetic. I'm very, that's when a lot of downloads come through and a lot of my creativity flows at that time. But it's, been more focus on rest. I received a message from the universe that we're all just kind of working too hard right now, and that we should focus on our health and nutrition. And while I agree, there's many caveats to that. So currently I don't really like to cook where I'm at. I don't feel very safe, especially for my children. And I actually got a call back from the city today where I'm currently at, and they're going to contact me further about the violations, and we'll see how it goes from there. But basically, if I can cook it real quick in the oven, then that's what I'm doing. And I'll usually just try to find the healthiest options while eating out. But lately I've been finding, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same, that with the throat chakra healing going on, with everybody. I've been seeing it everywhere, because there's these huge messages coming forward. But it's like everywhere you go, nothing really tastes the way that it used to, or it doesn't really. It's just, how can I put it? Not the same, but more like not what you expect, not what you feel that it should be. And it just feels because a lot of folks out there just aren't putting love into the food. They're just, making food, and it's of no concern to them. And it's just something that I had spoke about in another video. I used to read webtoons, and one of the characters in there could tell people's emotions by tasting their food. And it just, it's like, it's this message of, well, if you can't find it better external, just better to make it, do it yourself, internal, make it your own. But if you can't really cook at home, like you don't have a kitchen, or you don't have access to nutritious foods, you just keep speaking life over yourself. You just keep speaking code by saying everything that I eat is the best for me and has no negative effects on my weight or health, here, now, forevermore. Everything that I eat is the most nutritious for me. Because you know that soon enough you're on your way to aligning with the experience that whatever you crave, it's there. You have access to it. I think I mentioned in a previous video about how we evolved to sustain on the sun gazing. And it's very prominent, I believe, with Buddhist monks, and I feel many of us have started to adopt that path, and that's just the progression. Bashar has said that they don't eat and they are from us, and that's just things to come, things to align with. But essentially, drinking plenty of water keeps you abundant, keeps you receptive, keeps you fluid. And, eating healthy food, it opens up your solar plexus. And when your solar plexus is open, it aligns all your chakras. It brings all your chakras into alignment. But also moving forward with confidence. Making decisions and sticking to them. Something that my youngest told me when he was upset about us not having pizza. Because the night before, I had told him that we would get pizza because my eldest was like, oh, they're doing the $6.70 pizza at Domino's. Can we get it? And I was like, okay, Friday, This was before I had got the news that I got at the office. And then I was like, okay, fine. So we were going to get it. But then when I got the news, I wanted something more. Something more substantial, something more special. And when I told my youngest, I was like, can we go eat somewhere else? Like, I don't want to get pizza. He started crying and everything, and he was like, you changed your mind. And something that we used to be hard on him about when he was younger was that he would change his mind on so many things, like split decision stuff. And if he didn't get his way, he would cry. So that's why we would be like, dude, you can't change your mind like that. But then realizing that we all can change our minds at any time and any moment. I mean, successful people make decisions quickly and stick with them. But in the moment, should you have to pivot, then it is what it is, man. Like, you gotta pivot. You gotta be adaptable. You gotta be fluid. When you're stoic, when you're stagnant, when you're stuck, that's when the most static shows up in your life. So it's difficult. It's definitely something that, I've always known that change is inevitable. Change is the constant of life. Life is lifing. But anyway, so I gave him more grace and everything, and told him, if you change your mind about things, that's fine. It just depends, like, if it's an emergency situation or something, situation by situation. But basically, I told him, like, yeah, we can change our minds at any time, like, all of us. So I shouldn't be hard on you about that. So then on Friday, when he was crying about that, and he's like, oh, you changed your mind and this and that. I said, yes, but we've gone over this. I go, I found out new information and I wanted to pivot, and it's just not going the way that you want, and it's not going the way that I want either. But we ended up compromising in the end, of course, and the point that I'm going with that is, like, what I was also meaning to say was that I had told my son that to know when to change your mind, because if I have changed my mind on so many decisions that I have made in just even a little over a year, we wouldn't be where we are right now and going where we are right now, because I have trusted myself. But anyway, it's like when I was gonna sit down to do the reading, the space that I'm in is pretty bare. It's pretty vacuous at this moment. And that's definitely something different for me, because I'm always used to clutter and organized piles and just things all around. And when I close my front door to come home, like, it's a pretty loud echo. And I appreciate it. I'm not depressed or sad or anything about that, but it's just different, right? It's just getting used to. And doing the reading, I had started recording and everything, pulled 4 cards, but then I was like looking at them and I just was like, bruh, this is so much digging. Like, this is way too much. Like, it is the feeling in this collective that yes, while there are things in the shadow remaining to unpack, mostly you've made friends with your shadow. Like, you are best friends with your shadow. And there's a lot to be said about just digging for things, like, but with the recent energy of the portal and everything, and you know, time is an illusion, none of this really matters, but having fun, you feel that there's a great release. There's so much that you've moved on from, so much that you've experienced and don't allow to define you. With the portal, I decided to release my Ankh charm with my necklace that I had from childhood, because the Ankh charm, I noticed on the ends was like nicks, and I'm like, how did that happen? Like, it was completely smooth when I first put it on, when I first received it, and then I noticed over time, like, it had got lost when I was at my apartment previously, and then found it and I had put it back on. And since then I've noticed, like, it had these nicks, like, on each end where the cross is. It's like each end had nicks. And I was just like, how did that happen? So I knew it was time to release that part of my past, release that aspect. I mean, the energy is always with me should I wish to carry it. And eternal life is definitely something that I have. The fountain of youth exists within all of us. So, you know, we are Ouroboros. But I knew that it was definitely time to just keep releasing those burdens. And so with this reading, I know we're getting like almost 15 minutes in here, but with this reading, there's just one thing that I would love to ask the universe for all of us is what is the most impactful aspect within our shadow that would propel us even further. My cards only show the truth, universe. What should we see at this time? Thank you. So we have the sun. The sun is in our shadow. Here comes the sun. And that I had spoke about in a previous video that the sun is sentient. The sun is conscious. The sun knows what it's doing. The sun knows what it is. The sun realizes that it is the center of our galaxy. And the fact that the universe is saying that the sun is in our shadow. I mean, look at this big, beautiful bubby right here. Like, you definitely have made friends. You've made friends with your shadow. You embrace it and cherish it. And look, this is a figure there. They're ready to take flight. They're ready to embrace their freedom and independence. And there's always going to be thanks, universe. I'm gonna drink some. Have you ever had a banana smoothie that doesn't taste like banana at all? Anyways, there's always going to be challenges, you know. There's always going to be things that come up. If you will always have problems unless you're dead. And even then, I mean, there's shit in the other realms. So it's all just fun, ride, travel, like. But this, with all the flowers in the background, see if you can, there we go. With all the flowers in the back, how much growth that you've achieved, how much you've blossomed. I'm so proud of you, twin. I'm so proud of us. I love us the most. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care, okay? Love you.